take them off of here. I've already removed the bolts. Just pops off like that. Alright, now that the seat's off, I'm going to run a simple compression test. I had the carburetor back on there after rebuilding it. Tried to get it to run. Sort of ran for about 2 seconds and then spluttered out again, which tells me I have a problem with compression here. Seems like it's got an okay spark. Could probably be a little better. I'll dive into that if I can't. Don't find anything here. GK spark plug when it's all soaking wet. Yeah. Looks nasty. Definitely running rich. Do that, since this is nice and easy to get through at the moment. How good this compression tester is. Alright, you guys will have to tell me what it clocks in as, because I can't see it from this angle. But a couple good whacks, huh? Here's some really nice oil in grade SE 50s. Should be enough to cover. Down there. And wheel should seal. The wheel's going to seal. That's not going to be bad oil. Let's hook you up again. One more time. All right. Haven't opened it up yet, so let's take a look and see what we got here. There we go. So they were all tight. They all snapped a little bit as they came off. I could see the whole head kind of flex a little bit. So they were on there. Torqued correctly, probably never taken off of here. It's probably the first person to take this thing off of here since it was built. Also, I'm not totally sure if I can get this jug all the way off while it's on the bike. Kind of assuming I can. Oh, look at that. A head bolt with a split ring washer on it. Alrighty. Yeah. Pretty simple. A real generous squish there. I wonder if I could machine that off. Higher compression out of that. Alright. Peek inside there. Alrighty, let's take a look at this. There's some light in there. Doesn't look too bad. A little bit of a carbonation on there. Ports look alright. You see the green oil on there? That's oil, by the way. That's that real nice pan oil that I use on one of my bikes. Alrighty, let's see if we can get this jug off of there. Okay, let's see if we can get this thing off of here. Not keeping it. Boy, that is just not moving at all. We have to move some heat. Some heat in there. Not enough. Let's see. Oh, looks like it's moving. Oh yeah. Heat is always your friend. Yes. Ready? Get a vacuum real quick and get some of that aluminum buildup off. Right. See all that aluminum powder? It's from reacting. Let me get a vacuum and vacuum that up. I don't want that spilling in there. Alrighty, I'm just getting this guy off. Oh, don't spill in there. Don't spill in there. Come on. Alrighty. There she blows. Get this thing a little greasy, huh? The two-stroke stuffing guy would giggle seeing these ports. I don't know. I think there's room for improvement there. A little more power. It's gotten better over the years. But, let's take a look at this guy. Let's see. Little tiny bit of play. A lot of play on that wrist pin though. Things look okay, but I bet you they're toast. We'll see what happens when we measure it. Okay, so according to Suzuki, when you're going to measure whether or not your barrel needs to be recut, there's 3 different height points that you do. One, up here, down here, and then one at the bottom. Right. These points are 6 millimeters from the top, which is right about where the top of the piston will hit. 5 millimeters above the top of the exhaust port, and then 25 millimeters from the base in, from the bottom of the sleeve upward. They specify that you measure it both across and diagonal in both planes, and then summarize the total wear out of that. So let's do that real quick. We'll start with this top one here. Got my handy dandy expanding measuring tool here. I'll get that in there, make sure it's right about the middle, lock it in place. Yep, feels good. Okay. Okay. 51.98. Let's try again. Okay, I'd say that's 52.01. Let's try one more time. These are not the best calipers in the world. Definitely need to invest in a better set. Yeah, I'll say 52. Oh, okay. So, no. All right. So position A. That's going to be, the first one's going to be 52.00, and then my second position on position A, going diagonally. Let's try to get about the same spot. That feels good. I'm going to check this one more time. That's what I was afraid of. I collapsed it a little bit as I pulled it out of there. Okay. Down to 0. Alright. So there's even less wear that direction. 51.98. Let's try it again. Zero it out. At 1.97. Go one more time. Call that one 51.98. Right, 51.98. Okay, next position B. This is going to be above 5 millimeters above the exhaust port. All right. Right there. I'm sure this is really exciting watching me measure this. Well, hey, if all these measurements come out okay. Alrighty. Could mean that I saved myself a rebore, which would mean I don't have to buy the tooling to do it. Alright, that's right above the exhaust port. 51.05. Alright, let's try one more time. Or sorry, 5.2.05. Well, we'll call it 5.2.05. Not a lot of wear. 5.2.05. Okay, let's check the cross position for that, which I have already measured and marked out. Okay. Alright, looks good. Okay, and the cross position for that, 51.97. And that 51.98, so we'll say 51.98. 1.98. Okay. And now our C position, which is all the way down here. All right. Let's get that on there. Locked in nice. All right. Get better as you use these things. 51.97. Let's try that one more time. Some drag on there. Five 1.96. Let's say 51.97. Okay, and let's try our second position down here. Feels like that's in there nice and snug. Okay. Five 2.1. Okay. Five 2.1. Okay. So I think what we have here is a pretty good barrel. Like I said, there's a couple gouges in there. I can kind of feel them with my fingernail, but I can hear that. Yeah. But I think I might be able to just work those out of there, and I'm still in clearance, so okay. Okay, so the next thing to check here is the overall piston clearance on the sidewall. The manual calls for 0.035 to 0.045 millimeters clearance with a maximum limit. That's the minimum for standard clearance, and it's got a maximum standard clearance of 0.10. So let's see, where are we there? That's definitely snug. Yeah, let's see what we can get in there. So that was a feeler gauge that was 0.04, so that should be inside the range. And they said the maximum permissible is 0.12. So let's just try this 0.10. That's really tight. Yeah, so I think we're well inside of our side-to-side slop. Maybe a little bit sloppy, but not too bad. But, you know, it's a 60 frickin' year old piston. Maybe not that old. Since 50s, I guess. Alrighty, well, guess now all I gotta do is just wait for those new rings to come in. We'll be good to go. And let me show you this real quick. Let's see if you can see this on there. So, I haven't decided yet whether or not I'm going to replace this. It's an aluminum head gasket. It's pretty soft. Looks like it's an okay shape. I'll give it a try, and if I find I'm still having problems with compression, then I'll replace that. But you know, if I can avoid buying one of those, I will. But let's see if we can see this. One of these has, there we go. Focus. All right, can you see that right there? How the shine on there changes, like the mirror effect changes. There's like a line. You can kind of see it there. That line is right where the exhaust port is. I suspect that's where our problems with all of the compression are coming from. So I think these are just toast. I think everything else is fine. I'll rehone the bore, get all those scratches out of there, and we'll go from there. Alrighty, so managed to peel off all that base gasket, which, by the way, is my least favorite thing to do when I'm working on these bikes. Next step is we're just going to kind of hit the cylinder head, a little bit of emery per the instructions in the manual. I guess I could throw this into the mill and just skim cut it, but I'm going to go this way. This is 600 grit, wet dry, and I'm going to kind of wet it down with a little bit of WD-40. And start sanding. It's looking pretty good. We'll hit the top as well, although the sleeve on this guy protrudes just a hair proud. Okay, that looks pretty good. Nice and shiny. Next thing we'll do is rehone this barrel, get it oiled up, and we'll be ready to go. Alrighty, so let's move along with the honing process. First thing we're going to do is grab a paper towel here. Don't make too much of a mess. Alrighty. Okay, and then next thing is I'm going to oil up the stones. It's a good idea to do this as well as some in the barrel there. Yes, this oil is green. Alrighty. Let's a little bit of oil inside there. Ready? Ready? Looks like all those little scores cleaned up pretty good. A little bit over here still. Geez, I don't know. We'll see. Quick screw to. Yeah, some deep scores in there still. Round two. Well, I can see them, but I can't feel them. Yeah, maybe just a hair there. I don't know. We'll see. Waiting for those rings. It's either works and I save myself 60 bucks, or it doesn't work and I bore it over 0.25 and get an oversized piston. But I think this is going to work. Might not be the most powerful motor on the planet. Alrighty. Next thing to do is put it back together. We'll see how it does, but I don't know, I'm really worried about those scratches. There's no bueno. Pretty deep groove right there, so like I said, I might have to take it over, but we'll try this first with a shot, see what happens. If it runs, great. If not, no worries. Well, after some deliberation, I've decided that what I need to do is bore this guy out. So we go, one piston kit. See, IMD Pistons out of England. These guys got me this really quick. This was like less than a week to get it shipped from wherever they are to here. So today, take this guy down to my buddy's shop. He's got a lathe. I think the circlips are in there. It's just a guess. Ooh, shiny. Look at that. Brand spanking new. Forged piston, which does not fit. Let's look at what we can do here. So looking at this thing, it's oily. See that drip of oil right there. And I don't know if it's the case or the cap or what. So what I'm going to do is hit it with some simple green concentrate, which I really like that stuff. It doesn't do much damage to the aluminum or anything, and just cuts the oil right off of the bike. So I'll go grab some of that and we'll give it a shot. I really like these old egg crate things that kind of catch a lot of the crap that comes off of these bikes. And yeah, I know I could take the whole motor out of there. This is the stuff I'm using. Got like a couple gallons of this. But I'll get it running first before I do anything drastic. So, meantime, just yeah, this stuff works so great. I used to peel a bunch of really burned on metal chips and coolant and cutting oil and stuff off of this guy over here, which is buried at the moment, but it's a Bridgeport-like mill that I have that I'm hanging on to for when I set up a shop. I'm looking for a lathe too, but right now that's all I got. So, anywho, I'm back to the Harbor Freight. If you guys don't have one of these things, I'm telling you. I mean, they're made really cheap, but they work really good. So, and actually I should have put that safety bar back in there, but as you can see, it's holding it just fine. So, anywho, I'll let this thing soak and wipe it down and bring it back when I'm done. Alright, I started looking at this thing, took it off of here, at least start wiggling it off of there, and discovered that at some point in its life, someone brazed the two together, which is not ideal. It makes it very difficult to clean everything really well, and this thing definitely needs it. So I can see where I've been just kind of tossing it, but was missing a cotter pin and probably a washer down there, as well as a nut and a lock washer. So we'll need to replace those. And yep, get the thing pulled off of there and figure out a way to decarbonize it. Okay, you get to watch me struggle to get this pipe off. Full disclosure, I already went through and pulled the really hard to get nuts out. They live right up underneath here, and mostly hard to get because they're just completely caked in two-stroke fluid. Well, oil. Spent grease, not again. Yeah, I showed you this before, but somebody decided to braze this up. Look at that. And unfortunately, what that does is it makes it, one, it's kind of askew, it's not really on there straight, and two, it makes this thing really difficult to clean all the way. This thing really needs it bad. So I'll set this aside. This will be the next project, but for now, I think what I want to try to do is just get inside here, take a look, see what we got going on. Alrighty, let me grab my trusty screwdrivers. I wish somebody would have used the right screwdrivers on these things, but I get it. They look like Phillips. Well, that one is bad. When it came out. Alrighty. Yeah, also you can notice this brake arm right here is kind of pushed this direction quite a bit. So I need to pop that off of there and heat it up and bend it back into position. But commiserating on whether or not I want to take this lower engine case out of here and split the case halves so I can replace the seal that goes down the middle there. So it may be leaking. Give me a chance to service everything inside while I'm at it. Alrighty, here we go. Well, isn't that clever? Per the manual, let's put our screws back. Oh, a nice gearbox oil smell in there. What I'm not sure is how to check if this thing is actually pumping. You're supposed to. This has got a set on here. A certain amount. It's supposed to be adjusted, which looks like it's okay. This whole thing seems like it's stretched. Get the splitter. Yeah, it seems to be working. I guess what I'll do is I'll clean it in here, and then I'll pop this other side off up here. We'll turn it over a few times carefully, see if we get any oil flow up to that. But it actually looks like it's in pretty good shape, pretty reasonably clean. So we took care of this thing, I think. What is that? Just flash grease right on the finish. Got some kind of urethane finish on there. Maybe the original finish was on this thing. But not to worry. Alrighty. This will be a fun next project. Alright, so I think the next thing I'm going to need to do is get that brake off of there, because that is definitely not right. I mean, it's literally the right brake's on the right side, but you know, bent over this thing is. I think what happened is this thing got whacked on this side. Probably broke the collar on there. So they just welded it back together with the brazing rod. You know. But, yeah, so I think the next thing I'm going to do is pull that brake off of there. Really, these wheels need to come off at some point as well, but I was hoping to be able to get the cylinder back for my buddy sometime sooner so I can get it running first before I bother with anything else. But now I'm thinking more and more I'm going to pull this whole motor, get an old seal kit available for these things, and kind of really go through it, make sure everything is working the way it should. Stuff. So I think I need to get some JIS screws to replace these. I don't know if they just, probably what happens, they just wore out. A little concerning that it's been tampered with, but who knows how many times this thing has been off. Yeah, I'll fix this guy too, the shifter. Shifter's got a little bit of a, you can see it. Need a bit of a, but yeah, and then of course this thing's on upside down because, you know, your drain hole at the top. So whatever, and we'll pull that off next. Yeah, it's looking there. So I didn't get this on video, but when I went to pick this thing up and he turned it around, I looked over and suddenly it's puking oil. And as I'm holding it, I can now feel the oil moving around inside of it. So I'm going to be draining this guy shortly. Right, next item of business, let's pop that off there. So what's that going on underneath? Alrighty. Spine looks okay. I think this may not be the original. I can get the original rattled off because it should have a stop nut, I think, underneath it. Not mistaken, but I could be. It's also a little. It's a little wonky. Points down like that, so I'll fix it. Yeah, these look like they just came out of a kit or something. Let's see if I can track down a bunch of JDM screws. A generic set. Leave that guy on just for a second. It's under there. And look at that. Pretty clean. I cleaned it or just didn't get ridden a lot. It's original. Huh? Made in Japan, Suzuki. Yeah, look at this chain. Looks like it's in pretty good shape. He was trying to pull this guy off of here and he couldn't figure it out. So I may take it off of there just to verify the timing. But I mean, it looked like it had pretty good spark, and I don't think it was a timing issue that was keeping this thing from running right. I think it was a worn out cylinder issue. So this chain looks pretty good. Look at how they just last forever when you can keep the grease on them. Keep the water off of them and stuff. Probably the original chain on this guy. It's not too sharp. A little bit of wear, but not too sharp. Looks like he gave up after prying on it a little bit. I do have a puller. Like I said, I think it's okay as is. But I may pull this whole motor off of here so that I can fix this potential oil leak underneath. But to be honest, I can't tell if there's actually an oil leak because it's just caked in the two-stroke exhaust, like spent oil residue, because somebody was messing around with it, never never put a gasket back in there for the exhaust system, so it was just leaking everywhere. So, but yeah, I don't know. I think for now what I'm gonna do is it's crazy. I'm just like noticing that alignment dowel right there. There's just one on the top, so I picked correctly to take that one off last. But yeah, I think this will be a kind of neat little bike when it's all good, because it doesn't look like it's leaking anywhere else. Looks pretty clean. I will gotta be like replacing that switch with the original, which was probably fine. I'll try to fix the wires so that it's all as it would have been and tucked away neat and tidy, because I'm just sure that it didn't ship like this from Japan. Just knowing how they are about everything. I say that having lived there. So, but yeah, I gotta fix this guy right here. I got a replacement. I don't really like how it's behaving. I don't think it's right for this bike. So I'm gonna figure out what I need to do to fix that one. I think maybe somehow hack a capacitor in there where that capacitor sits now. But we'll see. Anyway, thanks for watching.